Once again, everybody, we find ourselves in the third map of a series, and we have not casted the last two. Actually, we're pretty fortunate right now because our own best of three series usually end with the 2-0 these days, and we still are able to jump into the final match of TCM Gaming and Morgans Minions right now, so a little bit of extra content here. Tetcha and myself here on Sky Temple, now we're going to find out which team is going to face up against. Well, first of all, Euronics, since they lost against Na'Vi in the first one. So we have TCM Gaming with an immediate ban on Thrall, and let's see how the Morgan Minions are going to react to this one. So it's actually pretty cool that we have, once again, the final match of a series here on our hands.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few game frees today, which is always a lot of fun. And yeah, the Raw ban's a little bit interesting. Will Morgan's Minions react with the... No, they won't react with the Kael'thas ban, so now TCM, they are going to be able to pick up that Kael'thas first if they want. And
yeah, and that of course also leaves us in a game again where we could see Tyrande. She was changed a bit in the last mini patch, and we already see that in the draft as teams don't prioritize her as highly anymore as before. A Kael'thas is being picked here, Thrall banned out. That allows Morgan's Minions to go into a Tyrande composition if they want to, but as we already said, it's not as powerful anymore as it was before. It's still something that you can use though. Blizzard didn't suddenly implement a patch that made her completely useless, but they're trying to just like tune it down a little bit, but we still have in a position where with Muradin and Tyrande you can get a decent stun composition off.
Yeah, subtle changes, just as patches should be. It's always cool to see.
Yeah, completely agree. And I mean, Murid and Tyrande have been taken now. So TCM Gaming, they already have Kael'thas in their setup, and now they can, of course, like think about how... Well, first of all, I guess they're going to ban out Jaina. I don't really think that they're going to take Jaina and Kael'thas, and with the combo that we're seeing for Morgan's Minions, it feels to me a bit like they would like to get rid of Jaina first of all. With them already securing Zagara, they have very nice bot lane pressure here. In general, Zagara, of course, with the vision that she grants, is incredibly powerful on the map here. She can also give vision for the boss, and I suppose that at this point TCM might actually start thinking about that, at least one of their frontliners. Potentially, of course, we could see several here. So yeah, I would be pretty happy for them to drop one of their tanks, and the alternative would be a support, I suppose.
They go with the late assassin / warrior / bruiser that Sonya sort of fits into. Bringing her out there, bringing us into the ban phase. Morgan's Minions, they had the potential of banning out one of the hard tanks, or banning out more damage dealers, but it's very unlikely TCM will bring in more damage dealers. Supports, also an option, because as we see, Uther, Karazim, all currently available for TCM.
Yeah, and when we're talking about supports, I mean, with that setup with Sonya, you can really start thinking about banning out supports, as you said. Like, there's a couple that would work really well with TCM's lineup. You could ban tanks, of course, too, depending on what Morgan's Minions are going to try and pick here. You are in a situation where you can try and just, like, deny a few of those options to TCM Gaming. Like, for example, Johanna, if you don't really want them using her. There's also a few others that we could talk about. But, yeah, it's more or less a matter of preference at this point, I suppose. For TCM Gaming, I still would say that Jaina makes the most sense to ban out, since Muradin and Tyrande are already catering towards that burst combo, and if you have that follow-up damage with the Jaina Blizzard, it's just way too difficult to deal with that, in my opinion.
I would agree. So my prediction for the bans would be Karazim for Morgan's Minions, and the Jaina, very much agree with you there, for TCM Gaming, and it's an ETC being banned at Morgan's Minions, getting rid of that tank a bit earlier on.
Yeah, so ETC banned out, that of course helps, and Jaina, more or less a no-brainer here. I mean, it really would complement the lineup of Morgan's Minions way too much. But they still have a couple of options when it comes now to the damage, and when we're talking especially, of course, burst damage, then a lot of the heroes have already been taken away. Sonya, for example, as well, can really cater towards that end. But Morgan's Minions, they can go for range damage. There's a Vala still around. They can, for example, go into Reyna, who is also still available. Keep Sylvanas in mind, which we've actually seen a lot try and lock heroes down with a quick Wailing Arrow during those fights, especially, of course, on the temples themselves or the boss. So all of these heroes still work quite nicely with what we're currently seeing here, but they definitely need a hero that is able to pack a bit of a punch. So I assume at some point we're probably going to see a Reyna here taken. Ho! That I like even more! That's awesome! Alright, I'm sold. This is good. We have a Butcher.
Well, I'm hoping this is actually the Butcher and not the Artanis that we saw earlier on.
No. This is a Butcher. They had still a time pool available. That is definitely a pick. And I like it.
I am really hoping so. So there is a Rhaegar Bloodlust. I think something's gone wrong.
Okay, no. I want this to be true. This is not going wrong. Like, I believe this is sexy
Full damage
as hell.
to Rhonda, Bloodlust going in.
Dude,
No,
like,
it's probably going to be Ancestral.
Like, Butcher does actually make sense. I mean, you can argue about, like, the Rhaegar picking. You can say, okay, with the Butcher, maybe it would have made a bit more sense to go straight into, to go into, like, an Uther. But then again, with Rhaegar already here, you have still that Lightning Shield, you have the Ancestral Healing, so you have a couple of options there. And that Lockdown stun from Tyrande with Butcher stun after charge, Mirrodin as well, that would be sexy. I like that. I really like what we're seeing here.
And there you go, TCM reacting to that with the Uther. They need that Divine Shield to protect against that huge amount of Butcher engage.
Cleanse, they need Cleanse, and
also Cleanse
has Cleanse here. Rhaegar is another hero that could have gone for it, but yeah, I am liking what we are seeing here. And at this point, TCM Gaming, I mean, their last pick, they need another frontliner. They can't rely on Sonya solo at the frontline. They need to make something happen. And I would even say that a Johanna is probably their best bet in this case. Because Leoric is another option. I personally would not like to see that Leoric here in my setup. They need something that is a bit more... I don't know, like, does help them a bit more with appealing and everything. And Johanna seems like the girl for the job. Ethereal, on the other hand, is also an interesting choice here. I guess if you play with the Sanctification, that would make actually a lot of sense as well.
Yeah, double invulnerable to try and counteract the Butcher here could be really useful. So they got 2 invulnerables and a cleanse. So many ways to get rid of that. And there's a Valor coming in from Morgans Minions. A lot of damage coming in from their side.
Ah, fresh meat. I like it, guys. I like it. Okay, so TCM Gaming versus Morgans Minions, the 3rd map, and I am ready. My body is ready for this one. Butcher together with a Tyrande, a Mirrodin, and a Rhaegar, and this is going to be fun, guys. And, well, if that Butcher is not really a Butcher, I'm going to riot. I'm going to riot hard. We're going to jump... We're going to jump into the game. Sky Temple, the last map between TCM Gaming and Morgans Minions. Let's see what they can actually do here. If Butcher is being played and how he's going to play up against TCM Gaming's setup. The team that loses here is out of the tournament. The team that wins has another shot of advancing going up against Yorick. So see you guys in the game. Alright everybody, it is party time. We have a Butcher game, the 3rd map between the Morgans Minions and TCM. To the left side of the map, Rema Baller for TCM with Sonya. We have Devis on Kel'Thas, Nika on Zagara, Danatan on Tyrael, and Ace of Spades on Uther. And to the right side, Rask. On the Butcher, we have Amitabha on Mirrodin, Valkatman on Tyrande, Tazu on Vala, and Happy is playing Rhaegar in this game. It's going to be a fun one. We couldn't cast the first 2 maps because we were busy in another best-of-3 series, but we are here for the final map, for the conclusion of the series. Techa and myself going to bring you the coverage here for the Butcher game, and this is going to be pretty epic.
Having a look at some of the level 1 talents. Starting off on the Butcher, the Invigoration, hamstring hits hero, half the mana cost, and a 1-second cooldown reduction. And very interestingly, Rhaegar yet to pick his level 1 for now.
Yeah, hasn't taken it yet. We off. Oh, there we go already. Danatan, and he's nearly going down. The Butcher already moving back, and that was close. If he had a few stacks, they would have probably been able to take Tyrael down, but that was very solid here. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Good stuff.
Yep, very cool indeed. So we already know that Butcher's immense on damage, and that's before he even gets any fresh meat. Rhaegar for now, just holding the bot lane and using that classic totem into Lightning Shield to help clear those minion waves.
Yeah, and talking totem, he went for the Colossal Totem. He has the level 1 talent, so no mana reduction. The Butcher in the mid lane has already got it again. And of course, we are going to wait for that Ruthless Onslaught. There it is! Oh, fresh meat runs in! And Ace locked down for a second. Didn't really do anything. It had no chance of killing him, but it looked cool, and that's what I like about the Butcher.
Yeah, I think he actually took more damage from the towers than he dealt with that, so I'm not 100% sure on the worth there. But now, though, moving up with Tyrande to try and get control of that watchtower. And that is a scary roaming gank squad, the Butcher Tyrande squad.
Yeah, and it's always so scary when he runs at you. I mean, like, even if you know I should be safe here, it's always like, eek, I want to get out of there. Well, either way, we have now the 2 temples, of course, up, and we have level 3 on both sides. Both of the teams are eager to go straight into level 4. Up at the top lane, we're seeing Ace currently soaking the shots for his team, and Rema Baller and Devis are moving in to not only put pressure on Vala, but also, of course, attempting to take these structures down. To the bot lane, well, Rhaegar is going to have a very, very bad time against Nika. That's a very unthankful task, by the way. Like, a poor Rhaegar player that has to go up against the Zagara, he's not going to have any fun at all.
Something I would like to point out here. There is a Manticore been taken from Valor. An interesting challenge. It is quite a bit of extra damage, but it's getting my hopes up, and they shouldn't do that just to let me down.
I know exactly what you're talking about. With that, we could theoretically see a bloodlust. But first of all, we have that Vala getting very low, but Remabola is taking her down after all. He himself might actually be able to escape here. Cooldowns aren't ready. Sonya gets away. There comes the Stormbolt. Amitabha trying to get out of there, but he is locked down as well and dropped. Double kill for TCM. Great player for them so far. Flail Axe has been used for the increased range on the hamstring. And yeah, very well done here so far on the side of TCM, getting those 2 kills up at the top. But Manticore is definitely a very interesting talent to take, considering that they run with a Rhaegar here.
Round 2. Ras coming in here, waiting on his cue to try and position himself in front of Nika. Not able to get there, though. And now has the pleasure of the solo lane versus a Zagara experience, especially being a melee.
Yeah. That is definitely, like, it is melee assassin hell going up against her. I mean, I guess that's not quite true. There are a couple of melee assassins that have actually pretty decent time going up against her. This, on the other hand, is exactly what they're waiting for. Oh my god, that poor Zagara. The bug got squished, no chance over there. That's the power of this composition. Stun into stun into stun, and of course that Butcher charging on as well.
Yeah, Butcher already at full fresh meat stacks, so needs to not die, to not lose those unless he decides to get Avatar on the next level. For now, Rhaegar soaking the mid lane versus Kael'thas should be fine doing that, as Butcher just poking away at those sea shines, but not willing to go in and dive them, seeing as Ace of Space is a stun and they don't have vision of everyone on the map.
Yeah, the Brutal Strike has now been taken as a level 7 talent on the Butcher, and both of the teams are on 7, which means Vision Bomb for Kael'thas. We have the Ferocious Healing for Sonya. See a bit of pressure here in the mid lane too, but once again Nika is isolated. They're trying to go for the stun off, then they get the kill against him. He went for Rapid Incubation, didn't really help him in this situation, though, of course. Up to the top lane, it's still a 2-for-1. Tazu on his Vala is very much alone here, trying to put the pressure on Remabola. Can't do too much. And well, we have the builds, of course, like starting up here. We see also the cleanse taken now on level 7 for Rhaegar. But to be honest, like the more that I look at it, I mean, of course, we always want to see Bloodlust. We haven't seen it in ages. This is a fun talent to cast. It's a fun talent to watch. I wouldn't really like it here. I mean, even with that Manticore adjustment and the Searing Arrow on Vala, I don't really feel that 2 heroes alone are enough to get a lot of value out of it.
Well, there's also Avatar.
It's true, you get something out of the Avatar too, but I really feel like they need a bit of sustain during these fights. I'm not quite sure if Bloodlust would be the best choice here. They could go for it, but still, it's like
they do still have Shadowstalk. But I would have thought at least maybe a battle momentum or a forward momentum might have come out to work with that, but they are up against a couple stuns. Because the issue with this is, you Bloodlust the enemy material presses R. That's the issue I see with picking Bloodlust here.
Exactly, so that's a big problem. But then again, you are right. They have the Shadowstalk too, so they could go for the Bloodlust. It's just like I would have even expected them to maybe go for more heal build on Rhaegar with the adjustment on level 10, but instead at least drop some auto attack damage on Tyrande, because right now they don't have any, and I'm a bit surprised by that. I really thought that at least on level 4 they would make an adjustment in the zeroing arrows, you know?
Yeah, like we've seen a Bloodlust Rhaegar build before coming in from the old Virtus Pro lineup, where they would run basically full healing and forward momentum, so that the Bloodlust would increase Rhaegar's attack speed, and that would lower his cooldown and all his heals. So he'd just be able to do all that in comes Butcher, just to get Tyrael off of Tazu for now, not really going to be able to get the kill, but some good zoning.
Yeah, also dropped half of the HP of the hero, so that
also
definitely works too. There's the 10s though, and of course we have Sanctification, we have also Divine Shield and more, Phoenix and Wrath of the Berserker, and now really the moment of truth, is it gonna be Bloodlust? They could use it. If they do, I would have liked a slight adjustment on the build for Tyrande.
Yeah.
And they have Lamb to the Slaughter, we have Shadowstalk and Rhaegar.
Doppling with my heart happy. Stop
Rhaegar making it exciting. Rain of Vengeance, by the way, even more stuns being used now. Danatan down here. It's gonna be Bloodlust. It has to be Bloodlust. It is Bloodlust. There it is, and Muradin is dead. It's too late already.
Yeah, there's the ball catching 2 members. He could have used Bloodlust as the movement speed to try and get his team out of there. There's the Sanctification coming out. Tazu already getting back. A bit of a miss on the multi-shot there. Nice hand to the Swords are holding back. No one, actually. The Cleanse getting rid of that. Butcher goes down. And the surprise Bloodlust, not so much turning out to be a surprise there.
Yeah, and I have to say it again, like with the build that they're currently playing, I really feel, like looking at the builds right now, we're having Tyrande here in a situation where of course Bloodlust is in, like Bloodlust is first of all giving you a massive attack speed boost. And in this case, Tyrande is a hero that doesn't really benefit from it too much. If she would have gone for the Searing Arrow on level 4, that would have helped her quite a bit to at least put some pressure out there. So you can always argue, we've seen of course from Tomb of the Spider Queen, Seasoned Marksman into Searing Arrow taken, which can be incredibly powerful. You can argue if you really need Seasoned Marksman here on this map, but at least a level 4 adjustment would have been very solid if you are planning to go into Bloodlust in the first place. So it's a bit weird to not see that, but of course having that adjustment on Vala with the Manticore as a level 4 talent helps you to get those auto attack damage numbers out. Let's see if Bloodlust is really going to be the talent that they can rely upon. They have the heals overall. Damage is definitely going to be a bit of an issue, and of course they're on-point heals.
Sanctification goes down, Lance and Sorter getting instantly cleansed. Bloodlust was used there, going in for the huge fight. Tyrael getting stunned up. Sanctification not lasting long enough. Ace getting chased down. He will get picked off here, and so will Nika get stunned up here. And it turns out, just on the burden alone, it's getting quite a bit of worth. That was a good flame strike though. They're trying to chase down it, so they're all quite low here. And they're going to be backing up with 2 kills under their belts.
Yeah, it was actually very nice momentum that they built up in that last fight. I liked it a lot. Double kill for them, still behind in experience. But this is one of those fights where they timed Bloodlust perfectly, and it really worked out. That Butcher went full ham, darted in, and did all the damage that he needed to do. 2 of the temples are now up. Oh, but Vala. Oh, close call there. And that was Cleanse actually coming into play here. Happy making sure that he has a position where he can simply save Vala. That would have been nearly a secured kill for TCM.
Yeah, speaking of cleanses, Uther has been on point this game. We have to give him the shout out of every single Lance of the Slaughter has been cleansed. He's just been doing a fantastic job of it.
Talking Uther, he's currently down at the bottom of the map, and he is in a bit of trouble.
Position.
Yeah, because he's up against 2, not slow down yet, but okay, he gets away for now. We have also shots soaked and a 4 destroyed because of it in the mid lane, as Danatan has taken the temple here. Rhaegar moving down to the bottom now, but this is definitely going to be a pretty fun game that we're seeing now. A lot of what currently the Morgans Minions are trying to do is just relying on the momentum that they are attempting to build up with that build that they have here, with that Bloodlust. They have now also the slow, and that's of course, that's dirty. I mean, like, there's no other word for it. That's just dirty. You go for Bloodlust, you have an auto attack build to a certain extent on Vala, but you still have Composite Arrow and Frost Shot, so you slow your opponent down, you get a movement speed and an attack speed, and you basically try to pin them all down so that that Butcher can completely go nuts.
Yeah, that seems to be their style here. You even with the increased radius on the totem, the whole idea is stop the other team from running so that you get the full worth out of Bloodlust, but at the cost of quite a few of their damage talents, like you said, for the Tyrande going with a bit of the extra range on the stun, for example, as opposed to that Searing Arrows.
I'm personally not a fan of, to be honest, of Lamb to the Slaughter. I mean, the idea behind it is, of course, quite understandable. It's really good, but the problem is that with the Cleanse being around on Uther and also then Sanctification plus Divine Shield, I really think it might have been a better idea to go for the Furnace here. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, Furnace could once again also be blocked by Sank and Divine Shield, but at least you have a chance of repositioning and hitting one person who's not in it, whereas Lamb, it is the person who's nearest to the middle, and the second the enemy knows which person that's going to be, the cleanse is there.
I mean, if they can isolate Uther, then of course it's a different meta. This is a super interesting comp, because you can really argue about so many choices that are made here, and there are so many nuances of how you could play it. As we say that, though, we are starting to go in, and there is it. They lock down Uther, as I just said. They're trying to go for him. Then they move in. Where is that Bloodlust? There it is, and they go immediately ham. Look at that Butcher going completely crazy. Feral Lunge already used, but we still have Rhaegar dead. So is Sonya, though, and Rask has to move away here. Amitabha is getting the stun in, but has to jump out. It's a kill for a kill, but a very aggressive setup here. Once again, the problem for them is that now again they are down in all of the cooldowns, and Rhaegar is also dead, so they have to really wait until Bloodlust is back before they can unleash the combo once more.
Yeah, Kale barely escaping as well. That was very nearly a 2-for-1 in favor of Morgan's Minions, but he just got behind his wall. Butcher not able to land that last auto attack that would have been the difference between life and death.
16,000 damage on Butcher. We have 29,000 damage on Vala. It's a pretty fun game in the way that they play it here. But TCM, with that more solid composition, I want to say, are doing fairly well here too. And they are on level 60 now, which of course gives them a lead in talents too.
I am liking what Morgan's Minions are doing here, though, with the Lance of the Sorter now, focusing it onto Uther. Because, yes, new cleanse is pretty fantastic, but you can't self-cleanse anymore. So that actually is a really good target for it. It either forces him to waste Divine Shield or gives you a nice kill.
Yeah, that's the boss now taking on the other hand, though, and that, of course, is putting things into a really awkward spot here once again for Morgan's Minions. I mean, they're up against the boss. We have temples already announced at the same time, so they have to make a choice. What do we go for? They don't have the level 16 talent, so they don't really want to fight a team fight right now, and it's a bit awkward here. We have now Nerves of Steel taken for Sonya, the Arcane Barrier for Kalthas, of course Benediction on Uther, Holy Ground for Tyrael, and already 2 of those towers are soaked, and you can really see the pressure that TCM is currently executing here. Not only with the boss alone, but with those 2 temples that they're able to soak as well.
Yeah, TCM just controlling the map and doing a very good job of disengaging. They may lose a person here or there, but they're still trading reasonably well with this very high burst damage comp. And the fact is, Morgan's Minions have to move as a team. They have to move as 5 for their combo to work. Whereas TCM can split up a bit, get XP, get temples separately, and it still works.
And Rage on the Butcher now is of course going to make him even more dangerous. It's one of the best talents on the hero. It's just so crazy how ham you can go, especially of course if you are the focus of the opponent's damage. For now we also see again a late pick on the talent for Rhaegar. He went into this Feral Lunge on level 13. Was this going to be the 16 talent? His healing power is diminished, but they have the Tyrande as well. Rask is already there. Executioner for Vala for a bit of extra damage that they're trying to use. There it is. They go in and they get the stun. 1 stun, 2 stun. Tyrael with the Sanctification, the more in the backline, isolating the Butcher, perfect! Really well done.
A very nice heal, Bloodlust is used, they're coming in, the Raid of Vengeance doing a lot of stuff, but it's too much, the Divine Shield on the Sonya, just allowing her to tank all the way through. It is rememberable, though, having to back up due to the fact, well, Bloodlust and Burning kind of strong, but the huge focus is enough. Rask trying to retreat, he's been revealed by the creep, he's the only one left alive, and Nick is just like, nah, you can live, we're just gonna go kill your base.
Yeah, they're going
actually, no, he's not saying you can live, he's going for the kill.
Yeah,
And for him.
I mean, at this point, we already have like the core being attacked here, and it's level 19 versus 16. They took a risk with this entire setup. It did not really work out for them, but yeah, very, very well done here on the side of TCM. Morgan's Minions, they took a risk. It didn't pay out for them in the end, but it was a nice effort. It was a nice shot trying it here on the last map in the series, but it is TCM that advances and has to face off against Euronics in the next and last best of 3 of Group A here at the end of the Storm Euro playoffs.
Okay, everybody, that's it for the day. We had some really fun games here, and I hope that you enjoyed them and also the commentary. Of course, we're going to have more Heroes of the Storm action on the channel in the near future. So if you enjoy the esports scene, Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on KhaldorTV and also like the video if you haven't done that yet already. There's going to be more European games. We're going to have more North American matches as well. And of course, if you're interested in the Chinese Heroes of the Storm esports scene, I'm going to have more games on the channel as well in the near future as those leagues start again. At the same time, though, if you have friends that are also interested in esports and in Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you forward the channel to them and share it with them. It was a pleasure casting for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, as I already mentioned, and I hope to see you next time for more Heroes of the Storm action here on KhaldorTV. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.